I need that. Cool. Right, well, hello everybody, how you doing? My name is Chris from CGPirates.com. I was about to say CG Palace, don't even know what website that is. And today I am going to be having a look at an add-on pack for Unreal Engine. This is the raw stream, okay, so there will be like a 5-minute review stream basically that is made from this, but this is the raw stream while I do the kind of checking it out, looking at things, and eventually shortening the actual clip. But what I wanted to do was basically take some time to have a look at some of the assets on the Unreal Engine store. Now, I tend to pick very carefully because obviously it's my money. And what I have in front of me here today is Antique Furniture by Mikhail Laskov. Sorry if I pronounced that wrongly. Now, this one hasn't actually had many reviews. It's only had one question answered. It's only been on the store since the 9th of January 2021. Now, let's have a look first. Now, I was looking for some antique furniture simply because at £13.08 for however many pieces of furniture here, I think 37 meshes, that's going to save me some time. So if you think about time equals money. However, I needed to make sure that they were kind of suitable for what I need. Now, what I'm looking at on my personal remit is I needed something that was suitable to be between about 1890 and 1925. Okay, for furniture. Now, I know that this furniture is kind of what I need. So what I did was I had a quick look at the pack itself. Now, you can always tell when you're looking at a good or a bad pack straight away, okay, because it won't have lots and lots of previews. I've seen some that have only literally got a couple of previews. So let's have a look and see where we start out with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my live scene. Okay, so here we can see this is the actual product that I'm thinking of, that I've looked at. Okay, now I've bought this, but here's some things that we need to look at here. So first of all, we have a support email address. So the author has given us a proper email address that we can contact if we're having problems. Now, remember, this is a support email address, so it's not really for general questions. Ask general questions in the questions tab. Now, let's have a look. So the first image looks okay. I'm not going to enlarge them all up because I'm using a 4K screen. But what I did was I went through them all and I had a look as closely as I could. I was particularly interested in this sofa and chair here simply because... Oh, we've got another follower. Oh, hello, Maz. Maz Ahmed. Pleasure to have you aboard. Right, I'll just wait for that to clear, Maz. Anyway, I was particularly interested in this sofa and this chair, or settee and chair, whatever you want to call it, simply because if you look at it, the style's about right. Okay, we're looking at a kind of a 1920s style here, so that worked fine for me. Always keep an eye out. If you're not great at telling the age of furniture and stuff like that, check out things like the beading along the bottom and the legs and the overall design, and just try and marry it up to perhaps an old furniture catalogue. Now, in addition, they had these drawed bureaus, and he also had some images of it being used in context and some stuff with the table. So, in my opinion, I was fine with this. This looked like something that I'm kind of interested in. Now, let's look down at how the actual description system on this works, because there's a lot of stuff here that we may not, be up to date on. So we can see there's 37 meshes in here, and the collisions are all automatically generated. Now, that's important because remember, there's a bathtub in there and a sink and things like that. We may need to go in and rework the automatically generated collisions. That's not really a problem because at least it's told us about that. Now, we can see here that they've given us some combined kind of vert counts. So bathroom 2 is 261, armchair 7, 548, cupboard 5, 277. We can see these are very, very low polygon counts. Texture resolution, again, we're not getting too much information here, between 512 and 4096, so that's fairly common. Okay, we have all the way up to 4K texture. Textures are probably being shared, so that's cool. Okay, so let's continue down. Now, I don't have any links, which is a shame, and when something's this new, and remember, January the 9th 2021 is pretty darn new for the Epic Marketplace, because it's only, what, the 9th of February here. Okay, a lot of the time you have to rely on yourself for this. Now, I wouldn't make a purchase on the marketplace that had a massive value, because without the decent reviews it'd be hard, and there's no video supporting this. But you know, I felt fairly okay to buy this, mostly because I wanted to test it. £13, 8 pence wasn't a huge amount. Now, if I go to my library, and what I'm going to do is I am going to load up one of my projects that I'm working on, that I've put the furniture into. That way I don't need to do it all over again. So I'm going to go into here, and I believe that I've already loaded the furniture into there. Right, while I'm doing this, like I say, this is a live stream, so I've got to wait for everything to load. Okay, I'll edit this together later on, leave myself little markers, whatever you may think, you know. Oh, caffeine, yum. Right, close that down. So what we'll see in a moment is we'll see the Unreal Engine will start. Now, I always say this when I'm teaching for my students. Unreal Engine takes a while to start because it's going to be compiling some of the shaders in advance for you when it loads up the level that you're in. So don't worry if it's taken a little while. If you don't get the loading screen, maybe it's hung, in which case you might want to go and look at your task manager. I would like to thank, by the way, I have got Walid Belferag has followed me, Marcos Vinicius has followed me, and Mars Ahmed has followed me, and that is wonderful. I also have Rakesh R. So thank you very much for taking a chance on following this small independent game dev thing, and it's much appreciated. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, whenever we load up something new, okay, it will always go into our content folder. I've already moved mine, however we know that there will be something like furnishing or something like that in here, so I'm just having a quick look, and I want to see if this is the right one, because I've got, nope, this is a different pack. Typical. Okay, well, I'll just add it into this for the time being. So if I go down to content, and I'm going to, let me see, load the Epic launcher, because it closes automatically, and I already have the stuff downloaded, so I don't need to worry about the speed as such. Feel free to say hello in channel if you're in there, by the way. I'll turn the multi-stream on, and I can't see a damn thing. There, come on, where's the thing? There. Right then, so furniture. Let's type the word furniture in my vault. And here's my antique furniture, so I'm going to add it to project, and I'm going to add it to this one, which is the one that I'm currently in, and click add. I can always get rid of it later on once I've had a look at it. So there we go, all done and cleaned. So that's how long it takes to add. Admittedly, I have got a decent SSD. Now I'm going to go into my antique furniture, and in here I'm going to click on my, just an overview, quality assets I've got. This is important. I'm getting nice and close to them. I want to examine them as if I was the end user examining them, and I want to make sure they're going to fit in with what we want. Now the overview is going to stutter, and it will do that on all the shaders of all the furniture. So I'm just going to look over here, and now I'm playing Cyberpunk, which this is the first technically kind of sprawly, okay, messy, if you want to call it. You know, this will eventually tighten up and pick up over time, but you know, give it time is what I'm saying. Right, so let's have a look. Now I've chosen this set as it is a very, very good example. Now if you want to zoom around and have a look at things, I mean, you'll be used to Unreal Engine anyway. I'm just using WASD obviously and my mouse here. I'm going to drop my speed on my camera down a little bit just so I can examine things more closely. And I'm particularly interested in things like the polygon counts here, making sure that there's no hideous tiling. I can see that there's drawers included in this, which is great because I already created myself some blueprints for opening and closing furniture, so that's going to be a big help for me that these things are separate, okay, because making opening and closing furniture very, very easy. Now let's look over here. I've got my other cabinet too. It's got opening and closing doors, which I think is brilliant. You'll see the pivots are in the right place. I'm just checking those too. Now let's look over here. Yeah, this is a very simple reflection going on, but it is a reflection nonetheless. Let me just get my visual effects, and I'll get a box reflection capture just to kind of pick that up a bit. There, that's a bit better. And I'll just build my box reflection captures. So build reflection captures, there we go, and that just tidies up my reflections a wee bit. Now this bed I really liked the look of. I think that's really nice. I like the fact that it's got like these, I don't know if you call it a valance or what, going on around the edge of it, but it's nice. That works perfectly for me. Again, good, it's matching everything else. These, excellent, very durable. That's really what I wanted. I was really interested in these pieces, just to save me, like, you know, an hour and a half of modelling. And then over here, continuing on it, we can see that the jaws are still separated, which is lovely. We have a choice of cloth or no cloth over the top of that, which I think is great. We've also got a tablecloth and no tablecloth. Hello Peter Ustrik, thank you very much for the new like, it is very much appreciated. And again over here we have another mirror and some old stuff for the bathrooms. Now bearing in mind what I'm working on, which is set in 1930, this is all okay. This is okay as far as I'm concerned. Now I'll have a quick look at the sink. It is a little bit polygonal. I mean, what I can do though, if I want to, and only if I want to, is if I just change this to wireframe. I mean, I can see it's got a decent amount of things in it anyway. So what I could do is, if I wanted slightly smoother, I could take it out. I could re-export it, which is easy enough. I just press that, come over here, right click, asset actions, and then, you know, export it out, and I could, you know, add some more polygons in if I felt I needed it. But to be honest, I'm kind of okay with it. I think it looks good. So let's go back to lit, and then inside lit, if I'm just looking at this, yeah, this is all good. I like this a lot. Okay, so I mean, I know already, having bought this pack and gotten used to it myself, that this pack's okay. And I only got it yesterday. I haven't actually used it for anything yet, but I'm going to. I know I'm going to as well. Now, we've got an awful lot of decent reusable furniture here, you know? I mean, a lot of stuff that we can reuse and change and do all sorts of things with, just to make it look old and dusty and stuff. Now, let's have a quick look as well at the materials. So if we go into materials, and we can see that these are all master materials up here, and then in here there's a decent selection of instances. So what they're using is, they're using basically different versions of the towels and the tiles and things like that, which is great. Now if I have a look at my instance towel, this will let me know if there's many things I can adjust in it. And yeah, this is great. So I can do all sorts of things on this actually. So there's been a lot of thought given even to this very low cost set, and I'm going to get a decent result out of that, I'm fairly sure. I've even got wallpaper, which I think is wonderful, because I was actually going to be making some wallpaper. And it's always worth having a check around your you know, about your assets that you've bought, because a lot of the time you will find that you have got a really nice kind of extra little something in there that you didn't know about. And I mean, look how this is nice and customizable as well. So this is really good thinking here by the author. I think he's made a really nice set. So next, let's have a look at usability. Now, because this is just furniture props, okay, and you know, as long as they're well made, they're always going to be good for what you need, you know, as long as they fit in the context of what you need, is what I'm trying to say. Now, there's no blueprints included in them. But that's fine. It didn't say there were blueprints, so I wasn't expecting any. Occasionally you will get furniture where they put a blueprint in, but it's only a very basic one, so that you can kind of use your own interfaces and things like that. But in this one, it's just what you see is what you get. I've got a couple of slabs here which are basically used for making this scene, I believe. And then if I go into my furniture, and I can just literally drag my pieces in. The pivot points look sensible. They are. Let's have a look at the chair. Everything seems to be lined up pretty much okay, to be quite honest. So I don't think I'm going to be having a problem with this. And like I say, overall, I'm happy with it. So let's look at our checklist. Okay, so pros. Well, the pros are, this is an excellent looking set. Okay, it's regular. It's obvious that You know, the author has made these pieces all round about the same time. They all match each other for quality, which is important. You want the quality to match. You also want to make sure the quality is going to match with what you're doing yourself in your project. Because I've got a lot of furniture, I just needed a bit more. Now, another thing to look at with this is, like we've already done, the textures. See if they've got any instances, see if there's anything we can check or change or do things to, because that's important. Okay, we may want to dusty things up later, and we can do that a lot easier, you know, if we've got good materials, because then we can start making, you know, layers of dust and things like that. Now, last thing that I checked out on this as well, obviously, first thing really, drawers we can set to opening and shutting, which means we can put the blueprints in. Right, so in my opinion, bearing in mind that I'm using these, okay, using a scale of 10. So for quality on this, I'm going to give it a good solid 8.5, 9. The sink has a few, you know, just a few jaggies, not many. So let's say, solid. I'll give it 9 anyway, because I think it's a really complete set. So, oh, look at that. The tea towels are separate too. My God. Yep, 9. So quality's 9. For future-proofing, well, meshes tend to be future-proof, okay, so I think we're safe with this one. Even if, you know, we're getting into Unreal Engine 5 and you're watching this in the far, far future, I've got a suspicion that these FBX files will probably work just fine, you know, in future versions of Unreal Engine. Right, the documentation itself, minimal, but then again, that's because this is just place assets. Okay, this is just stuff that you're putting into your scene and basically forgetting about, or putting into your scene and adding blueprints to. Now, suitability for different types of user, I would say for different levels of user, again, this is going to be fine. So let's go over it. Future proofing, I'll give it a solid 10. Okay, this is going to be fine. Next, documentation doesn't really have any as such, so let's just give it a, you know, it's got the information on the web page. We'll give it a 4. So its suitability for different levels of user, whether you're a beginner or you're advanced, I am going to say, well, I can't see a problem with it. Can you? I think even the most basic of users is going to know that they can drag out these items into their scene and use them as much as they wish. So that's pretty cool. I'll be actually going and using this to furnish a room a bit later on anyway, just to kind of check that that all works out. So let's give it an overall score out of 10, and I'm going to give it 8.5, which is a very high score for a furniture pack. I think that £13 and 5 pence, which when converted into dollars is about 15 bucks, or about 14 euros, might be less. I think that money's going to save. I think that's going to save me a lot of time in the long run, which is fantastic and just what I needed. So, in conclusion, good set, well done, I really like it. Let's see where the... there it is there. So, Antique Furniture by Mikhail Luskov, or Micah Lisakov. I'm not sure if it's been, you know, capitalized properly. And this is his first and only set for Unreal Engine. And as we can see, it looks like it supports all of them. Remember what I said? Looks like it's pretty much future-proof. So, if you need some antique furniture, and this is your kind of style you're going for, remember you can dust it up and make it look broken later on. You can even smash it up using the Chaos tool. I think this is a win. So, definitely one that I would try. So, let's go to that button there. There we go. Well, that says intermission, doesn't it? That's no good. I'm going to have to change the words at the top of that so they don't say short intermission anymore. But nonetheless, I am going to go, and I would like to thank you for watching this review with its noisy bits. I would like to thank you for being here, and for our new followers, of course, thank you so much. It is appreciated that, you know, you're taking the time to become a part of my community. Remember, we do have a Discord, and I hope